Hey, Fact Frenzy fans! Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into history's weirdest, wildest, and most mind-boggling events. Today, I'm taking you on a journey through some of the most bizarre historical moments that left an unexpected impact on our world. You won't believe how strange history can get, so let's get into it. We all know about the major events: wars, revolutions, the rise and fall of empires. But what about the events that make you say, wait, what? You know, the truly bizarre stuff? Well, today I'm here to uncover those strange moments that don't get as much attention but still changed everything. So sit back, relax, and prepare to have your mind blown by history's strangest twists and turns. First up, we've got one of the most bizarre phenomena ever recorded, the dancing plague of 1518. Yep, you heard that right, a plague of dancing. In Strasbourg, France, hundreds of people took to the streets dancing wildly for days. No, this wasn't some epic medieval rave. People were dancing until they collapsed from exhaustion. Some even danced to their deaths. Historians still aren't sure what caused this mysterious event. Some believe it was mass hysteria, others think it was ergot poisoning. Essentially a hallucinogenic fungus growing on wheat. Whatever the reason, it's a bizarre reminder of how the mind can play tricks, and how a crowd can spiral into chaos. Who knew dancing could be so deadly? Moving on to something even weirder. Australia's Great Emu War of 1932. Yes, a war between humans and birds. After World War I, Australian farmers were dealing with a different kind of invasion. 20,000 emus devouring their crops. The government's solution? Send in the army with machine guns to wage war on these flightless foes. Believe it or not, the emus won. The soldiers quickly realized that the birds were too fast, too agile, and almost impossible to target. After several failed attempts, the war was called off, and the emus lived to fight another day. It's a hilarious but true tale that shows sometimes even the best laid plans can be outdone by nature. Imagine that. A war where the enemy outran bullets. The Great Emu War is one of those stories that sounds like it should be fiction, but it's 100% true. Now picture this. You're walking through the streets of Boston in 1919 and suddenly, you hear a loud explosion. Before you can react, a massive wave of sticky molasses is barreling toward you at 35 miles per hour. This really happened. 2.3 million gallons of molasses broke free from a storage tank, flooding the streets and causing utter chaos. This thick, sweet disaster killed 21 people and injured over 150. The molasses was so dense that it took weeks to clean up, and on hot days, the smell lingered for years. The Great Molasses Flood was no joke. It left a sticky mark on Boston's history and led to changes in industrial safety regulations. It sounds ridiculous, but this bizarre event had deadly consequences. Just imagine getting caught in that mess. Our next story takes us to the early 20th century, where a group of women known as the Radium Girls were hired to paint glow-in-the-dark watch faces using radium paint. They were told it was safe, but it was anything but. The women were even encouraged to lick their brushes to get a finer point, unknowingly ingesting dangerous amounts of radiation. Soon, many of the women fell gravely ill, suffering from radiation poisoning. Their bones literally began to disintegrate. The tragedy of the Radium Girls wasn't just shocking, it sparked major reforms in workplace safety and labor laws, ensuring that workers' health was protected. The Radium Girls' story is a dark reminder of the price of unchecked industrial progress. Their fight for justice changed the way industries operated forever. Let's lighten the mood with one of the strangest and most explosive events in recent history. In 1970, a 45-foot whale washed ashore in Florence, Oregon. The town needed a way to dispose of the massive, rotting carcass, and their brilliant plan? Blow it up with dynamite. What could go wrong, right? Well, pretty much everything. The explosion sent chunks of whale flying through the air, damaging cars and covering onlookers in smelly debris. The explosion didn't even get rid of the whole whale. Half of it was left behind. It's a hilarious yet bizarre story of how not to handle a whale. And now, whenever someone suggests using explosives to solve a problem, the exploding whale incident is a cautionary tale. Now, here's a historical event that redefines the term friendly fire. Let me introduce you to the Battle of Karbus in 1788, where the Austrian army fought itself. Yes, you heard that right. It all started when the Austrian army was camped near the town of Karbus during a conflict with the Ottoman Empire. Some soldiers went ahead to scout for the enemy but instead found a group of locals selling alcohol. Naturally, The soldiers decided to buy some and have a little party. As more soldiers arrived and wanted in on the booze, things started getting heated. A drunken argument broke out, and in the confusion, someone fired a shot. Panic spread like wildfire. With soldiers unable to see in the dark, rumors spread that the Ottomans were attacking. Chaos ensued, the army split into factions, and in the darkness they started shooting at each other, thinking they were under attack by the enemy. The situation got so bad that the entire army retreated. When the Ottomans finally arrived 2 days later, they found no Austrian army, just a battlefield littered with the aftermath of one of the most embarrassing blunders in military history. The Battle of Karbus is one of the most bizarre and tragic cases of mass confusion. An entire army defeated itself without the enemy firing a single shot. It's a strange reminder that sometimes the greatest danger on the battlefield is panic. From dancing plagues to exploding whales and even an army that fought itself, these bizarre historical events might seem strange, even funny, but they all left a lasting mark on our world. Whether it's changes in law, lessons in nature's unpredictability, or just a reminder of human ingenuity or lack thereof, these moments show us that history isn't always about wars and treaties. It can also be about dancing epidemics and emu wars. So what do you think? Which of these bizarre events blew your mind the most? And do you know of any other strange moments in history that deserve a shout-out? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more crazy, unexpected stories from history. Thanks for watching Fact Frenzy, and I'll see you in the next adventure.